step stool or something. I mean, wow. It was pretty visually jarring seeing the height difference between her and Reggie Miller and Carmelo Anthony, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was really good. She did a very good job. Uh, but she made some comments about the CBA because, well, I mean, I give credit to NBC for asking about it, and it was it.
Caitlin Clark made her debut as an NBA pregame analyst before the Knicks-Lakers game at Madison Square Garden, and the consensus indicates she performed exceptionally well in her new broadcasting role. The appearance came after an extended All-Star announcement segment that delayed her portion of the show. The visual contrast between Clark and her fellow analysts Reggie Miller and Carmelo Anthony proved striking due to the significant height difference, though this didn't diminish the quality of her contributions. Her performance demonstrated natural ability in the analyst position despite this being her first time in the role. NBC chose to address the ongoing CBA situation during Clark's segment, a decision that yielded interesting responses given the current labor tensions. Context surrounding these negotiations includes a player vote held roughly a month earlier where WNBA athletes authorized potential strike action.
It's pretty jarring. Again, remember when the players voted for the ability to go on strike? This was what, a month ago maybe? They all met and they all had a vote, and there were 3 players. I think we figured out there was 3 players that did not vote yes for a potential strike. I would love to know if she's one of them. Okay. Now, today is the big meeting. I'm sure I will have some news about.
Reports suggest 3 players voted against this authorization, leading to speculation about whether Clark numbered among those dissenters. A critical meeting between WNBA, NBA ownership, and the Players Union was scheduled for that day, with union representatives Kelsey Plum, Nafisa Collier, and Nneka Ogwumike participating in discussions. The timing conflicted with an unrivaled league game, adding another layer to the scheduling complexity. Uncertainty remained about NBA Commissioner Adam Silver's participation in these talks. A clear division exists within the player ranks regarding the proper approach to negotiations. Clark has consistently emphasized the necessity of reaching resolution and returning to competition.
Have some news about that potentially later in the day. Big meeting between the WNBA/NBA owners and the Players Union. Kelsey Plum. Oh, wait a minute. They're going after the unrivaled game, I think. So anyway, Kelsey Plum, Nafisa Collier, Nneka Ogwumike going to meet with the NBA/WNBA. I would love to know if Adam Silver's going to be there.
Her statements make plain that conducting a WNBA season and playing basketball rank as top priorities for her perspective on the situation. This approach contrasts dramatically with statements from other players. 3 days before Clark's broadcast appearance, Natasha Cloud expressed frustration and disappointment with league management. Cloud criticized the WNBA's alleged failure to recognize player value, unwillingness to advance negotiations, and refusal to discuss upcoming television contract percentages. She claimed the actual revenue share percentages being offered would anger fans if disclosed publicly. Cloud's message adopted a confrontational stance, declaring players would maintain their position until ownership moved first.
I would love to know if Adam Silver's going to be there. But it's pretty clear, and I've talked about this. I think there's a real split amongst the players as to what it is they should be doing. Because Caitlin Clark has made it very, very clear. They've got to have a resolution. They need to get a resolution, and they need to get on the court and play ball.
She characterized any failure to compensate players appropriately as catastrophic business practice, placing pressure directly on the NBA and Adam Silver to intervene. Her delivery style emphasized conflict rather than collaboration. The divergence in messaging styles between Clark and players like Cloud could hardly be more pronounced. Some players frame the discussion as though the WNBA represents an optional element they can replace with alternatives like unrivaled. The confrontational delivery and adversarial framing stand in sharp relief against Clark's approach. Speculation exists that if more WNBA players adopted Clark's communication style and professional demeanor, the league might enjoy improved ratings and broader viewership.
And play ball. And you can tell it is a priority for her that they have a WNBA season and that they play basketball. Now, before we get to her comments, this was just like 3 days ago. Natasha Cloud.
Honestly, I'm just kind of like upset, frustrated, all of us, and in a lot of ways just like disgusted with the W and how they're handling this and their lack of value.
The perception persists that significant portions of the league's player-based project attitudes that audiences find off-putting, whether through appearing entitled, confrontational, or generally unlikable. Clark's popularity stems partly from avoiding these negative perceptions. When asked about the negotiations and what she hoped to see materialize, Clark expanded the context beyond just the WNBA. She characterized the moment as significant for all women's sports, not merely one league. Expressing confidence about reaching agreement, she attributed the leverage position to the quality of on-court product players have delivered. She emphasized the need to maintain this standard while acknowledging the intensive work happening behind the scenes.
Their lack of value, their lack of worth for us, their lack of even trying to attempt to move the needle with us. Like, we know what is on the horizon. We know in 2 years our TV deal is up and there's a new TV deal that's going to come that they're not even putting on the table for us. The percentages, if we actually told you the percentages of what they're giving, that they're like sending to us, it would absolutely piss y'all off. Mm-hmm. So like, just know when we are standing firm in our feet and 10 toes down, there is a reason, and we will not move until y'all move.
Clark expressed genuine belief that resolution would come within weeks, noting an important meeting scheduled for the following day. She acknowledged numerous outstanding issues requiring attention, including 2 expansion franchises, an enlarged player pool, upcoming free agency, and the regular draft process. Despite these complications, she maintained optimism about both sides finding common ground soon. Discussion turned to the league's expansion, with the draft scheduled for April 13th. When asked to explain the transformation occurring within the WNBA, Clark described the changes as remarkable. She recalled attending Minnesota Lynx games as a child during their championship era, with Maya Moore facing the Seattle Storm, contrasting that with current reality where virtually every venue sells out.
There is a reason, and we will not move until y'all move. So I'm going to look directly into the camera, too. We will not move until y'all move. And it would be the worst business decision of any business to not literally pay the players that make your business go. Without us, there is no W. And it would be the worst business. The pressure is on the any business on to not literally pay Adam, the players, everyone that is in that front office. Honestly, I'm
okay. I mean, that was her comments from the other day. And do you notice that
the expansion from 14 to potentially 18 franchises within a few years reflects the business growth occurring throughout the league? Clark stressed the importance of continuing to meet the moment while talent levels improve at both college and professional ranks. She expressed gratitude for the opportunity and hope for an extended career ahead. Her entire discussion centered on expansion, playing basketball, and necessary logistical steps moving forward. The end goal remained clear: getting back on the court to compete. The delivery contrast between Clark's measured, constructive approach and the antagonistic messaging from other players raises questions about union leadership.
The day, and do you notice that Caitlin Clark seems to be the only one that doesn't launch some kind of actual attack on the WNBA? I mean, they're talking like, hey, we don't need the WNBA. We can do unrivaled, blah, 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 blah. And the manner in which their message is delivered, it is startling.
Given Clark's evident communication skills and message clarity, some wonder why she doesn't hold the Players Union president position. Her ability to articulate positions effectively while maintaining composure stands out prominently. However, many players apparently don't value this communication approach. Other athletes have personalized the negotiations, transforming financial discussions into ideological causes. Questions arise about whether the true motivation centers on compensation or on public perception and claiming credit for achievements. The league has already proposed substantial salary increases, making the confrontational stance seem potentially unnecessary.
Yeah. And by the way, if you guys don't know, Neko Wumake, basically. And so the weird thing is, like, people have lumped her in with Fee, when in terms of her communication, she's way closer to Stewie. Like, Neko Wumake is basically saying they're going to do whatever they can to have, like, they basically, she's implied they know there needs to be a season. And I think anyone smart knows there needs to be a season. Like, if there's no season, like, they're fucked. Anyone who with a brain knows they're fucked. But let's take a listen to what Caitlin Clark has said.
The dynamic resembles political communication in certain respects. Two elements prove crucial: whether positions make common sense and whether speakers present as likable. Clark's ability to discuss issues clearly and maintain coherent dialogue creates positive reception from audiences. People genuinely enjoy listening to her speak. This intangible quality significantly impacts how messages land with various constituencies. The disparity in delivery style and underlying attitude separates the approaches dramatically.
But let's take a listen to what Caitlin Clark has said.
Has ever seen. Looking forward into the future, what would you like to see happen as you come to a negotiation?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's just a big moment for the WNBA. I think all of women's sports, I think this is one of the biggest moments we've ever had. So.
Look, I don't think it has anything to do with, I don't think it's going to change anything in women's sports. And we've seen it with the NWSL. Like, the NWSL nearly lost their biggest player because of what has happened right now. Because, let's be real.
One carries animosity and confrontation while the other maintains professionalism and cooperation. Clark's performance throughout the broadcast earned widespread praise for her effectiveness in the analyst role. The segment also touched on player comparisons, with Carmelo Anthony suggesting Luka Doncic as Clark's NBA equivalent. Various analysts have compared her playing style to Stephen Curry and Larry Bird in different contexts. Reggie Miller apparently offered a comparison that drew criticism online, though specifics of his comparison weren't detailed.
Their biggest player because of what has happened right now. Because, let's be real, like, I wonder what would happen in the WNBA if, hypothetically, Project B offered Caitlin Clark $15 million to not play in the WNBA, which is basically the Trinity Rodman situation. Their max salary was $350K, but they're paying Trinity Rodman $2 million because she was offered $2 million to go play in Europe. So I wonder what would happen in that scenario. But the NWSL literally tore up their salary cap. They tore up their CBA. They tore up everything in order to.
The entire situation illustrates how professional athletes navigate public communications during sensitive labor negotiations. Clark's approach emphasizes playing basketball, acknowledges complexity, maintains optimism, and avoids attacking league structures or management. Other players adopt confrontational stances, threaten work stoppages, and criticize organizational leadership publicly. Which approach proves more effective for actually achieving player goals remains debatable. Clark's method may build broader public support and maintain productive working relationships, while confrontational tactics might extract more substantial concessions through pressure.
CBA, they tore up everything in order to get her to stay, which means nothing because it doesn't change how players are playing the league. It just literally said they made an exception to keep Trinity Rodman there.
So, I feel very confident that we're going to get something done, and that's because we're in this moment because of the product we put on the floor, so we need to be able to continue to do that, and I know everybody's working really hard. There's a meeting tomorrow that's super important, and I truly do believe we're going to get something done here in the next couple of weeks, but like you said, I mean, there's a lot of boxes that we still need to check. We've added two new teams. I mean, there's going to be more players than ever, and then we have to get into.
The divergence certainly creates interesting dynamics as negotiations progress toward resolution. Her broadcast debut demonstrated capabilities beyond just playing basketball. Whether she continues pursuing analyst work or focuses solely on her playing career, Clark clearly possesses communication skills that translate effectively to media roles. The positive reception suggests networks would welcome her continued participation in broadcasting when her schedule permits. Caitlin Clark's NBC appearance generated substantial material, warranting multiple shorter video segments rather than a single extended piece.
I mean, there's going to be more players than ever, and then we have to get into free agency, then have a normal draft as well. So there's a lot of things left to do, but I really do feel confident that both sides are going to reach a deal here soon.
Yeah, draft slated for April 13th, but the growth of the league has been so much. I mean, can you just help us to understand the transition this league is going on right now?
I mean, it's incredible, and I remember my first WNBA game when I was a young girl. I went to the Minnesota Lynx when they had their dynasty with Maya Moore, and they were playing the Seattle Storm, and now basically any arena you go to, it's sold out. We're adding 2 teams. We're up to 14 now, and then hopefully getting to 18 in the next
Audience retention favors 8 to 10-minute clips over 40-minute productions, making the segmented approach more strategic. Regarding CBA negotiations, certain voices carry disproportionate influence. Breonna Stewart and Nneka Ogwumike's statements hold greater authority than Clark's at this juncture. Ogwumike's communication style actually mirrors Stewart's more closely than other prominent voices, despite public perception grouping her differently. Ogwumike has effectively conveyed that all stakeholders recognize the imperative of having a season.
Couple years, so business is booming, and that's a really good thing, and we kind of just got to keep meeting the moment. The talent's getting better and better. You see it at the college level coming into the professional game too, so
And she's not wrong. Like, we've seen it in the fact is like, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. There were no 2019 rookies that were All-Stars, if I'm not mistaken. 2019 WNBA All-Stars. And the last...
Anyone with adequate comprehension understands that failing to conduct a season would devastate everyone involved. Clark's specific remarks warrant examination. When questioned about negotiations and desired outcomes, she characterized this as transcending the WNBA alone, SPA, representing a watershed moment for women's athletics broadly. However, the claim that this will fundamentally revolutionize women's sports appears debatable.
2019 WNBA All-Stars. And there were 3 rookies. There's been 5 rookies the last 2 years that have been All-Stars. Like, the rookies were there. There was no rookie All-Stars in 2019. Fee, I think, was a reserve by the looks of things. She came in as a reserve. But like that made it that weren't an injury reserve. 2018, Aja, in fairness. 2017, that was the Kelsey Plum year, I don't think.
That organization nearly lost its premier talent due to current complications. Consider a hypothetical where an alternative venture offered Clark $15 million to bypass the WNBA season, essentially replicating the Trinity Rodman scenario. The NWSL's ceiling stood at $350K. Yet they provided Rodman $2 million after she received a competing European proposal. The organization effectively demolished their salary structure and collective bargaining framework, establishing a singular exception to retain her. This exception doesn't fundamentally modify competitive dynamics or athletic performance. It merely represented a special provision to prevent departure.
In fairness, 2017, that was the Kelsey Plum year. I don't think anyone, I don't even know who was Rookie of the Year. That year, I don't think it was. I don't think there was a Rookie of the Year. There was a rookie in it that year. 2016, there was no All-Star game. Oh, because it was an Olympic year. 2015, was Jewel Lloyd an All-Star? No. 2014. Who was 2014 All-Star? Was Shawnee Schimmel an All-Star in 2014?
Clark communicated confidence that resolution will emerge, attributing this optimism to the on-court product quality driving current momentum. Sustaining that caliber remains essential. A critical negotiation session was scheduled, and Clark articulated genuine conviction that resolution would materialize within weeks. Numerous complexities persist. 2 expansion organizations mean unprecedented athlete numbers, subsequently followed by free agency mechanisms and standard draft procedures. Despite these obstacles, Clark conveyed robust confidence that mutual agreement would be reached promptly.